We are going to paint all the ornaments with chalk paint. Grab some air dry clay, press the clay to fill all the gaps without leaving any air bubbles. After a few minutes, carefully remove the molded pieces. Do not wait until the clay is dry. You want to shape it around the curves of the ornaments. Now let the glue and the clay dry before painting it the same color as the ornament. Once the paint is dry, carefully brush some gold ribbon buff over the raised detail. For the next look, we are using a light beige color. Top that off with a coat of pearly glaze. Make a tiny hole at the bottom of the ornament to feed the wire through. Fold the wire in half and string a tiny bead halfway, and then give the wire a good twist. String 3 or 4 bigger pearls onto the double wire. Now feed the wire all the way through the ornament. Wrap the wire around the neck of the ornament before replacing the cap. For our third finish, use a firm sponge to dab half of your ornament with your gold ribbon buff. Now we can add some ribbon and bows to hang our ornaments.
Grab some clear ornaments and start popping the silver tops off. Fill up a bottle with some white distilled vinegar. Spray the ornaments with the vinegar all over. While the vinegar is still wet, spray some metallic spray paint on top. Then spray another layer of vinegar over that and let it dry. While the ornaments are drying, apply some ribbon buff to your ornament tops to make them look more aged and distressed.
I have these unfinished wood ornaments. Let's start by doing a base coat of white chalk style paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut her off. We're gonna need a piece of plastic, and we're gonna put the plastic on top of the wood, and then I'm going to position my paper. I'm gonna take my Teflon sheet. You can use either some parchment paper or a blank piece of tissue paper. You're gonna be applying heat and pressure in order for this to work, and I think everything is adhered. I'm gonna use a simple emery board to trim this piece. And there we are. We're gonna seal them really quickly. I'll be using Wise Owl's 1 Hour Enamel in clear matte.
These old Christmas ornaments are just not my style, so I decided to give them a makeover. By removing the tops and popping in a skewer, I have a way to stand them up. I want to create some texture, add in some baking soda while I'm painting them. Now that the paint's dry, I want to add a powder coating to the smooth ones. I'm going to use some clear glue and then roll the ornament in the baking soda. For the ornaments that I added the texture to, I want to do the same process, but this time I'm going to use cocoa powder to dust them. The final thing I want to do is add a little bit of metallic bronze paint. While the ornaments are drying, I want to change up the little caps that go on the top. I grabbed some glass ornaments at Michael's. I've grabbed some of my favorite molds. Before adding any clay to my molds, I want to brush them with cornstarch. I'm going to use little pieces and make sure to push it into all of the little details. I want to work with the clay while it's still wet and moldable so that I can wrap each one around the ornament. Before attaching them to the ornaments though, I want to give them some color. I'm going to use a thin layer of tacky glue to stick the clay to the glass. Now that the glue is dry, is to add some beautiful ribbon.
Baking soda and Christmas decor? You bet. First, remove the caps from the tops of the ornament balls. Mix together equal parts flour and our magic ingredient, baking soda. Next, we're going to spray paint the ornaments. After you spray paint the ornament, drench it in the flour and baking soda mixture. I advise doing this one ornament at a time and wear some gloves. It can get a little messy. After painting and dunking, let the ornaments dry. Put the cap back on the ornament. Using a small paintbrush, gently brush off the excess flour mixture.
We need to go ahead and remove the top off of the ornament. You just want a little bit of water. We're gonna add quite a bit of paint and we're gonna mix it. Move it around so it coats the entire inside of the ornament. Once we kind of get it going, we're gonna turn it upside down onto the cup and let it dry. And when it dries, you're going to end up with a navy ball or whatever color you choose, just like this. We're going to put the topper back on. We're going to use the Mod Podge. Once you have the Mod Podge on, it is time to start with the leafings. Set this one aside. I'm going to let it dry. So We're gonna use this gentle paintbrush and we're gonna go through and we're just gonna gently tap and brush the leafing.